And so, good morning, everybody, and
Good.
welcome to the session. So, let me pull up the. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, Mahi.
Thank you. Okay, so it's a quick check-in that how you're feeling right now. You need to uh, share your feeling in form of a weather. Okay, would you like to see a demo, or you are good to go with it?
Uh, yeah, you can give a demo. I mean,
Okay, so I would say that how I'm feeling. I'm feeling sunny. Okay. So I was really pepped up for this session, and nobody turned up. So just the lucky ones turned up, I would say, which was meant for the people. And that's the reason I'm feeling that heat as well. That I was expecting more, but there are very less people. But that's okay. And then I was a little nervous in the beginning, but now I am little cloudy. I'm happy to go with whatever it is.
okay. So I
Okay,
can
then
go.
we have one more participant who would like to also explore. So you need to tell how you're feeling with weather. How are you feeling? Are you feeling cloudy, sunny, windy? You need to tell that first. Please let me do. Sunny. And then why you're feeling a lot of sunny? Are you feeling heat? Are you feeling heat? Windy. Windy. So she's a little confused. She's feeling windy and she's feeling sunny. So let's ask Anita. Anita, how you're feeling?
I'm feeling rainy and cloudy because it is actually raining very heavily in Bangalore. And a
Mhm.
lot of babies' clothes need to dry up fast. So that's what
Okay.
is making me feel rainy and cloudy. Yeah.
Mhm.
But you know
Okay.
what? Honestly, your webinar part is making me feel sunny. And that's the
Okay.
hot to honest truth. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. It's in Bangalore. So her nanny lives in Bangalore. Now you go
Oh,
and please. So Kancha, over to you.
I am feeling partly cloudy, sunny. I mean, in the mornings, I'm feeling mostly sunny. Also, all decked up for work because I really like my work. A little cloudy because I'm not been keeping well since yesterday. A blocked nose, headache, so a little cloudy because of that. But as far as my daily routine is concerned, completely sunny. It's a holiday for my daughter, so I'll be spending some more time with her, taking her for dance classes. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a mix
Okay.
sunny and
Mm,
cloudy.
okay. So I tell you this particular name, Be Like an Air, okay, how it is coming from. So there are two dedication goes to this topic to two people. So one is, of course, one of my mentors and trainers. I really admire his style. So, he would deliver a session and he say, this is the process work which we need to do. And he would be out. He said, if you want to connect with me, you have to come out of the room. I don't want anybody else to be disturbed. So that's the space he creates. Okay. And there's a very famous quote, be like water. It's like taking shape. So this is a Bruce Lee quote, very, very famous quote, be like water. And that's how it came to me when it comes to presence, be like an air. Okay. And in some of the, so I was reading this particular book, and, a lot of content which you see in this session is inspired by this particular book, Self as Coach and Self as Leader. Okay. And so here, the metaphor which is given of air is heat. It's basically your presence, what you do with your presence. It's about how you make people feel with your presence. Okay. So the agenda is to stay focused in response to the client, to demonstrate curiosity for the client's world, be comfortable with ambiguity, and to create space for silence, pause, and reflection. Okay. And how we are flowing today for this particular session. The very first was check-in, which we already did about how you're feeling. There's self-reflection with quotes, be like air and what makes presence, being present and further boost. So this is how we would be flowing. Okay. So now moving to the self-reflection bit. Okay. So there are certain quotes which I have mentioned about presence. Okay. So go through these quotes and which one you felt connected with more and why you need to share with the audience.
Yeah, I can share Mahi.
Go ahead, Anita.
So I
So
feel
which one?
the Michael Brown.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, please.
So I felt like I really love this quote because many times we feel like interacting is necessarily a response.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sometimes by not responding, by not talking, by not giving something or someone your energy, especially if it's not a useful time at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
I feel that you can actually convey presence.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this quote reminded me of an article that Jaya had posted, "Be still like water," on LinkedIn. So where she talks
Yes.
about something similar. So I feel like, I'm using this quote to kind of be in that space. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so to me, that presence is, yeah. So in this
Mm-hmm.
moment, who I'm being can
Mm-hmm.
uh, showcase a presence which will determine the future course of
Mm-hmm. Okay.
things that
Okay.
will happen. Yeah.
Great. Great. Akansha.
I think I can relate with the third one. Sometimes I feel, you need to detach yourself both in personal as well as your professional life in order to be more present in that particular situation, in order to be more
Mm-hmm.
focused in your work. So
Mm-hmm.
detachment is very, very required.
Mm-hmm. So, when even I was looking at various quotes about presence, these 4, 5 quotes really stood out for me. Okay. It's about how, in the present, how we're interacting with people and how we are creating the detachments with the present world so that we can enhance our presence. Okay. So now I would want you to ponder on any of the situations you had been. Okay. Be it in the family, you are at work. So just ponder on these 4 questions. Okay. What kind of environment you are creating? Okay. What chemistry you are building on in that space? How do others feel in and with your presence? And what is it sharing about your persona? And once you have pondered, thought through, then share with us.
Yeah, Mahi.
Yes, go ahead.
That is because I think unknowingly you have captured in these 4 questions something that I really am trying to work on. Um,
Mm-hmm,
so this refers to those situations where I can get very strongly triggered, or I used to
mm-hmm,
get very strongly triggered. Example, if I feel that someone is not putting in as much effort as I'm putting in,
mm-hmm,
say in a situation, or even in a coaching session for that matter, if I feel like
mm-hmm,
that a client is looking blank or they are not trying to or like I'm trying to, instead of me trying to be on their page, I'm trying to see that they on my page. So I feel
Mhm.
like when I used to function that way, I've done some work, so I'm a little better. So the kind of environment I was creating was one of frustration and desperation, because there is
Mhm.
a unwitting expectation that is getting built. Ki,
Mhm.
I know this. Why is this not happening this way?
Mhm.
And ultimately, of course, it is affecting my presence. I'm showing
Mhm.
up much more annoyed or negative, whereas
Mhm.
maybe that's not
Mhm.
what I would want, right? Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
and so, what chemistry am I building on as a result? I'm probably
Mhm.
losing chemistry,
Mhm.
you know, and
Mhm.
probably how others feel is that
Mhm.
later on when I reflected, I realized that maybe
Mhm.
they were feeling pressure.
Mhm.
कि
Mhm.
नहीं, मुझे तो इसका इरिटेशन मैं सेंस कर पा रहा हूँ या कर पा रही हूँ. So,
Mhm.
you know, am I
Mhm.
supposed to
Mhm.
be getting this, or am I supposed to, am I? So I think unknowingly, I would have probably made another person feel less about themselves.
फोन पे देख लो सॉरी
So,
गो
feel,
ahead please हाँ.
yeah, so I would have made somebody feel less about themselves, which is pretty horrible. So
Mhm.
that is what would happen. And of course,
Mhm.
what it is sharing about my persona is that maybe the care quotient is somewhere not
Mhm. Mhm.
very high. So,
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Akansha, would you like to ponder on this?
I think there's a lot to say, but keeping it short and brief. I mean, I'm a person who actually creates a positive and happy environment, both at
Mhm.
home and at workplace.
Mhm.
Um, and I've got this feedback also from my team members and at home in my family as well. So that is one.
Mhm.
And I think somewhere I have felt that keeping everyone happy around, sometimes you yourself go in your own zone, right? Which is
Mhm.
not very positive sometimes for yourself, because if you don't want to
Mhm.
give your stress to someone else, you'll keep it to yourself
Mhm.
itself. So then
Mhm.
I I'm mostly looked up as a person who's like very calm from the outside, but from inside I know that things are like
Mhm.
haywire for me.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. So a very interesting thing, Akansha, I don't know, I'm a little curious to know. You just spoke about that today is your daughter's holiday and you are planning to spend some time. Okay. So can you think through with that lens as well about these
Um,
four questions?
So, see, usually from Monday to Friday, she has her schedule. She's to school, then she has her assignments, then she has her painting and dance class. But Saturdays again, it's a little lighter for her in terms of like
Mhm.
mornings are
Mhm.
free. I try and wake up early, her early only, so that I, kind of spend more time with her. And in the evenings, I've made it a routine that she's going to her dance class. So I also accompany her, and I have also started doing that just to spend
Mhm.
more time with her. And I've seen now
Mhm.
when I am doing it, she's looking up to me and she's having more focus on that particular dance.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's how I have planned my day to spend more time with her. And I can
Uh,
see her in evolving. I can see her interest gaining in that particular form of dance skill.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what is it is sharing about you itself?
Sharing about myself,
Yes, what it is talking about you, the complete scenario. What is talking about you as a person
as of now,
or
I can
about
say,
your presence?
that my life is, revolving around her only.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, interesting. So moving ahead, so what practices I would say you practice to build your presence as a coach or as a person even. What are you practicing these days?
I'm practicing to be more synchronized in my work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I am practicing to be more focused in my work.
mm-hmm,
Um, recently I've also started practicing meditation, which is really helping me in
Mhm,
terms of being more focused, in terms of
mhm,
more like up to my mark, that this is what I have to do today and it should be completed. Though,
mhm,
it's again haywire. Sometimes 50% of the work is done, sometimes it is not done, both in professional and personal life, right? You cannot be like bang on all the time.
mhm.
So
Okay.
yes, uh, being more focused and being more synchronized is my priority as
Mhm.
of now.
Okay. Okay. Anita?
I think to me, see, I just realized that I cannot build my presence as a coach without building my presence as a human being.
Yeah.
Like to me,
Mhm,
somehow the
mhm.
role just cannot, like
Yes. Yes.
literally kal ki baat hai. And I was thinking
Mhm,
about someone, a family member, that how can they say something like that? You know?
mhm,
And I obviously that's a bias, that's a an opinion, that's a judgment that is creeping in. So I know that if
mhm,
someone like that person were to be my client, and
mhm,
unknowingly that filter would be up, that कितना बदतमीज है, या कितनी
mhm, mhm,
या फिर कितनी insensitive है, या कितना insensitive है. So I think that's
mhm,
where yesterday I was trying to like reflect it. Why did I think like that?
mhm,
Because everybody will think, do, behave from their worldview, and
mhm,
I'm aware enough to know that. So still, why
mhm,
did that question come? Or rather, what can I do from my end to not let that question come? How
mhm,
can that awareness more instantly uh, play out
mhm,
so that I don't, uh, so from a
mhm.
practice, I feel like right now I'm only catching myself. I'm very far from building my presence as a coach, but
Okay.
I'm catching myself when the mistakes are
Mhm.
happening. So,
Okay, so this is very interesting. When I was talking about this particular question in my mind, I was thinking what I'm doing, what small practices or what practices I am working on. So I was just talking to Akansha just a few minutes ago that it was all about work. I was deep down into it. There's nothing else which was happening, and then it was building a lot of pressure, and that's the reason I took a lot of breaks on and off. That the coaching is not happening because my presence is not right as well. Okay. So you need to take that pauses. And then very recently, I tell you, there's little space to breathe. Okay. And I'm enjoying, I'm going out for coffees, I'm meeting my friends, I'm talking to people, but also very just you. So there's a festivity season which is going on. Okay. I wanted to go to Durga Pujo. I went there alone. Okay, I went for shopping. And yesterday, of course, there's another festival in Delhi, Karwa Chauth. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I went ahead to shop small things, or else you would have done it. Simply ordered from Nika. But it was such a fun buying those things. And then later, when I gifted it to my sister-in-law, she gave me such a big hug. So it's how small things really make your presence better or enhanced. Okay. So it's not about giving like 20 minutes or 1 hour to your meditation, even 5 minutes would be helpful. It would give you a lot of relaxation. Okay. So, be like air, my friend. Okay. So what is talking about your presence? Be like an air. What is a phenomenon of air?
I think, I mean, like we all have air around us. We feel it, but we cannot see it, right? So our presence should be also the same, that you make the other person feel your presence, but
Mhm.
just vanish after that.
Yes, yes. And then, when there's a lot of turbulence in the air, what is the feeling?
You don't feel very good.
Okay.
If if if
There's a lot of, yeah,
if
yeah,
like air would turn like a storm, you'll obviously not feel good about it, right? You'll be little
yes.
scared.
So it's about having that presence, that of being there and, at times just be around. But yes, stay vanished as well. Anita, do you want to say something?
no, I'm just Yeah, it's very
Hmm.
interesting. I found the metaphor very interesting, actually.
Uh, and interestingly, while I was reading in lot of books and coming from the frame of OD consultant, so they always, one of our professors mentioned that you yourself is an instrument of change. And then,
Hmm.
that those are the similarities which I also observed in coaching as well as a coach. Okay. That, just be there. You are just a tool who empowering others. It's our job is just not to ask questions. Okay. It's about what kind of environment I'm creating, what kind of presence I am creating in that scenario, in ecology. So that's something to look at. And I use this as an air because I was really mesmerized with this thought of be like a water, which also Jaya wrote an article of. For me, that's an air. In some of the articles, it's like a heat. Okay. And another metaphor when we talk about cooking, okay, it is the heat which cooks, which brings the real flavor of food as well. So similarly, be that air that you create another flavor for the human being. Okay. And also, I would like to share, this was mentioned by Horney's framework, moving towards against and away. So, what is our home base? Okay. Because we all are walking, talking stories and scripts. Okay. We have personal experiences. So, what kind of framer we are wearing when we are in a coaching conversation. Okay. So, moving towards is showing those emotions, staying more connectedness, caring. So think for a moment, when we over connect and over care, what would happen in that coaching conversation? Okay. So Anita, can you think of any of the instance where you played with this, moving towards my home base? Because I am a person who is kind of very caring, very connecting. So what would happen in what kind of coaching conversation is happening? How it would impact my chemistry with my coaching? What do you think?
Uh, what's coming to my mind is the ego states. Then maybe
Yes.
unknowingly you're going to the parent state if there is too much of
Mm-hmm.
caring or connecting. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe unknowingly, as a coach,
Mm-hmm.
one could get into a solution or a supporting or a
Mm-hmm.
advisory mode rather than
Mm-hmm.
discovery mode.
Mm-hmm. So it's like too much of love. So your coachee is addicted to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now just think for a moment, vice versa. Okay. You're moving against, your home base is moving against. You're always challenging the person. You're always observing. You're an action oriented. What kind of environment you're creating and what kind of coaching conversation need to be? And it's your presence, mind it. This is your home base. This is what you build throughout.
Hmm. I feel like
So
the
you're,
coaches. Yeah.
Mhm. Go ahead, please.
So I feel like the coachee could feel like they are having to climb an uphill battle
Mm-hmm.
and maybe inadequate or they may not feel empowered enough
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to think in the positive direction for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have also done this where in my mind I have immediately gone, अरे इतना भी नहीं कर सकता कहीं तो शुरू कर मेरे बाप, so,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that that has somehow translated in my presence. I might
Mm-hmm.
have done a good job in shutting up, but I know that with my body language there is that impatience I may have conveyed or
Mm-hmm. And then, in spite of empowering my coachee, what I'm doing is I'm creating an action plan for him. And there's a lot of pressure. He would not incline towards that pressure, but I am
um,
getting that action zone. I'm
right,
building that pressure.
right, they are not ready for it yet.
Huh. So again, going to what you just mentioned about, you are controlling the complete conversation, you're controlling the person, and you're controlling the outcome.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a third is moving away. Okay. Staying detached in silence. That's the environment. Okay. You are there, you are silent, you're observing, you are not connecting with an emotional level, you're empowering the person. So what kind of conversation would happen, and what kind of presence is this when your home base is moving away?
See, sometimes I feel a nudge is required for somebody to kickstart
Hmm.
their, healing
Hmm.
or process or whatever. So
Hmm.
if I were to completely move away as a coach, if that were to be
Hmm.
my home base, um,
Hmm.
see,
Hmm.
in principle, I feel detachment and silence are great things, and they play
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
big role. Uh,
Hmm.
but if that detachment and silence is devoid of understanding, if it is devoid of emotion and empathy, then
Hmm.
it can feel very cold to the coachee is what I feel like.
Hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. So there's one more concept coming from NLP: associate and dissociate. Okay. So, coach, so, in fact, when you spoke about empathy also, so as a coach, of course, we know what is my home base, but how you can also maybe moving in and out, so associating in the conversation and also dissociating in the conversation. And that's create the right framer. So there could be other frames, there are certain attachments at place. So how you're becoming aware of those attachments, your home base, and also have those possibilities of associating and dissociating to make and empower my coaching. Okay. So this is all about, so of course, as I spoke about home base, there could be other postulates. So as a coach, it's so crucial to be aware that what I am practicing, what I'm doing, what I'm making myself aware of. Okay. So now, what is making my presence? Okay, we spoke about the presence, we spoke about our beliefs, stories, scripts, attachment, associate, dissociate. Now let's see what makes our presence as well. Okay. When you see this, you have three brains: the head, gut, and heart. So, Anita, would you like to read for me? And what comes to you when you're reading about it very first?
Uh, Read the whole three things.
The three things: what is head, what is gut, what is heart? And as you read it, what is coming to your mind?
Okay, so the head is it's a seat of logic and intellect. However, the unconscious mind directs around 90% of our behaviors. So here what comes to my mind is, frankly, this is how I have probably lived my life till I was 35, 37,
Mhm.
like really function from the head. So,
Mhm.
in a calculated way, not, you know, taking care of
Mhm.
the gut or the heart
Mhm.
for that matter. So what the gut
Mhm.
is, 90% of the body's serotonin involved in mood and management is produced in the gut. Eat well to feel well. So this, I think, brings focus to the physical aspect that dictates our mental presence.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You like, for example, if I were to land up empty stomach for a coaching session,
Mhm.
or or I have eaten too much, and I know
Mhm.
that it'll influence the way I show up.
Mhm. Mhm.
So in general, being a little mindful about respecting my gut. Um,
Mhm.
the heart, of course, there are more neural pathways running from the heart to the head brain than from the head brain to the heart. Okay, yeah. So we say in sales that the buying process is generally emotional. It's not logical. You know.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
and I to remember that
Mhm.
because
Okay.
it plays a bigger part eventually. Yeah.
Mhm. 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 Okay.
I'm just keeping the audio video off because I have to feed my baby, but I'm here, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Mahi,
Quick
sorry,
answer.
sorry to bother you. Um, yeah.
Huh. Yes, Akansha, you want to say something?
Yeah, I have to leave. I have a meeting.
Okay. Okay. No worries at all.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Huh. So Anita, I was just sharing, when I speak what we eat, what we think, and also what kind of people are we are living our life, and also our thoughts, our stories. So that also impacts our presence. So
Yes,
another aspect, you want to say something, Anita?
I was agreeing, Mahi, that's all.
Okay. So another is having your routine. Okay. So what you're doing day in and day out, and working with your routine. Okay. And also being flexible with it. Another few of your mindful activities is some of the activities which were given in the book itself. Okay. The three belly breath, the lion's breath, and the individual practices. So they could be different from person to person. Okay. So, the three belly breath basically is, you go into little silence and take three deep breaths from the belly. And the lion breath is, this is something you do it in silo, and, you take a lot of deep breathing as well. Okay. And at times you become lion as well, and in that breathing, and some individual practices which could be different from individual to individual. Now coming to being present. So, in the book also it is mentioned three layers of presence. Okay. The self, the context. So context would include everything, your coaching, the ecology, what's happening in the system. And the third party is you yourself, how you're witnessing that conversation. So a lot of time in conversation, you go through, there's this mind which says, okay, what to next? What actions would go? So you're in the thinking zones completely. So that becomes a third entity. And what are the learnings from those third entity? Okay, you could reflect on, when you are with the internal rumbling of the third entity. So what is the unique quality of your connection? So Anita, would you like to answer this? What is the quality of your connection when you are also going through that inner rumbling?
I think it gets a little disturbed
Hmm. Hmm.
because I'm trying to maintain a observer view, but since I'm
Hmm.
completely not there yet, uh,
Hmm.
it's that middle space between my worldview interfering
Hmm.
with the coach's worldview.
Hmm. 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 Okay. So what do you think you feel in the presence of the client also? Because your presence is impacting the environment, and also the presence of coach is impacting. So what is that you are also feeling in presence of your coaching?
So that's the thing, no, what I feel
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't change with whatever the client is
Mm-hmm.
doing, saying, or going through.
Mm-hmm.
That space of not at all, like my answer should be nothing. I feel nothing, or I
Okay.
do nothing
Mm-hmm.
till
And
till
then,
required. Till required.
hmm. Okay. Okay. And then what you have learned about your own internal experience in that particular scenario.
So see, that's such a powerful space, right? Because if it is nothing that I feel, and I only do when I really need to do something, then
Mm-hmm.
I know that my internal experience is no longer hampering or interfering with the, like I'm able to
Mm-hmm.
really operate with an ego, adult ego state,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where I'm treating them, or I'm trusting the client to come up with their own solutions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what is a distinctive experience in relation to this client? So what is distinctive experience which is happening in and around?
So I feel like, I feel like the kind of testimonials I want to get from my client is that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. Literally, like I want them to tell. I don't know what happened, but I felt like I could be myself with her, and that anything I say will not be considered inappropriate or wrong. And so I could freely share. And in that, I found my answers and I found who I need to be or how I
And
need
then,
to approach.
that is interesting at times. It's the we are also attracting similar kind of clients. Some of the problems, the answers we are also looking for.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to look at. And then, at that inner rumbling, we see, oh shucks, this is happening in my life also.
Hmm.
How can I handle? Let's explore this along with her. And then, it feels like that you're talking to your own self. You're solving your own problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like that has to be a process that takes place after the
Mm.
session, not during the session.
Yes, not so that moment of time we're just focusing on that particular conversation because this is all about being present with the person, doing justice to my availability as well.
Yeah.
But yes, it gives you a lot of awareness that similar thing is happening and what could be other ways I can also look at. Because
Hmm.
the person might see it in a different perception as compared to ours.
True.
Hmm, hmm. Okay. So I would like to bring something which would boost our, something which we can practice there and then. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a theory which was given by one of the presencing professors. Okay. Which is, how as a coach, we shall build on the listening. Okay. So, it says we have to make my coaching move from the past towards a future state. So how we can approach it? The very first is open your mind. So listen to the past stories and no judgments. Stop your judgments completely and listen. Let them download what they want to say completely. Okay. And with an open heart, observe the reality beyond the prejudices. There and also ours. Okay. Then third is the sensing. The particular unit is entirely starting to act. What kind of possible actions? Asking them that what would make a shift. So checking their will. Are they open to take those actions or not? Okay. So and also, what is their deepest source? Making them aware that who are they and what is their role? What is they want to polish on? And coming from those nuggets, what is their potential? What is their capabilities? What kind of new energies they want to create with certain actions. Okay. Then setting the prototype in that conversation. Okay. And together you support and empower this person to create the new reality. So, stopping every judgment, open your mind and heart and checking for the will of this person because open will would make more actions. This is what in the grow model, we also say will of my participant
Hmm.
as well. Okay. So this is the presencing. This approach of listening is coming from the presencing. Okay, and so if you would like to can explore one activity along with Anita right now, would
Yeah,
that be
sure.
possible for you?
But you know what?
Okay.
What's interesting is the present sync is coming exactly between the past and the future.
Hmm.
Means it is at such a crucial point.
Yes, this is coming at the center because that's the conversation is happening in the now.
Hmm.
Okay. And then, as a job, which is one of the competencies or as a coach that how I am interested in growth of my client. And this is happening at the present moment, at the
Right.
center, now. Okay. So now this time, Anita, go just take 2 minutes. Okay. If you have a balcony, go in the balcony and just shut all the judgment and listen for 2 minutes. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I do like from a window?
Yeah, of course, also in the window. That's okay. from the room itself, if it's possible. Now shut all the judgments and just be there, be present in that environment.
You will let me know when to come back to the space.
Okay, come back now.
Okay.
Okay. So, Anita, when you said about window, have you done this before as well?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Or if you look at the listing, what all you heard right now, this moment of time?
Sorry, what was your question?
I said, what all you experienced or heard right now?
So strangely, like I said, because it's raining a lot here, and
Mm-hmm.
I realized that my narrative also was very gloomy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, my recovery is, happening so slowly because it's so cold. My knees are hurting. It's so gloomy, and like the kids' clothes are not drying, and I'm not able to catch
Mm-hmm.
sun. I'm not able to take the baby in the sun. Uh, and 9 months I've not been able to step out. Now also,
Mm-hmm.
like, the weather is not supporting.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I suspended the judgment, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I'm so fortunate to be actually living in a very beautiful space with a lot of green,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can see
Mm-hmm.
like a canopy of trees,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like, which is, I don't know how many people can boast of, living
Mm-hmm.
amidst a green cover. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because God knows certain areas of Bangalore are very, very dry patched.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm fortunate to be living where there is a lot of green space.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's very pleasant. What am I cribbing about? It's like literally
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pakoda weather, and ginger tea weather. So, uh,
Oh.
and we are enjoying with, like, whatever food
Mm-hmm.
suits.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I think what it made me do is
Mm-hmm.
shift the focus back to
Mm-hmm.
what's working rather
Mm-hmm.
than feel upset about something that's
Mm-hmm.
not working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where I'm at. Yeah.
So, Anita, just ponder on this particular thought, when you go with this mind, okay,
Mhm.
when you suspended all the judgments,
Uh,
what would happen? What it would create?
so even if I have been like caught in something else, it will
Mm-hmm.
help me refocus probably in a useful way,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
redirect my presence
Mm-hmm.
in a slightly
Mm-hmm.
different direction, like which could be more
Mm-hmm.
useful for the client.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then what impact it would create in the coaching conversation?
Obviously, I will probably be able to uh, help the client be more
Mm-hmm,
solution
mm-hmm,
focused, future focused, possibilities focused, rather than get
mm-hmm,
caught up in their story and
mm-hmm,
just build on the
mm-hmm,
content.
mm-hmm. Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
also, yeah, okay. So also how you can build your more presence. So, okay, you can have a self-aware journal of varied situations, okay, where you
Uh,
can record your assumptions and biases, starting with the coaching conversation and various other environments as well. Okay.
so you're saying self journaling will help.
Yes, yes. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Hi, Chetan. Okay. And practice asking and less of telling.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's about building more practice of asking.
Yeah.
Okay. And also regularly disrupt your habits, opinions, and beliefs. What is your thought about it?
Oh, yes. Habits and opinions is something like I think I have consciously, I still keep trying to work on
Mm-hmm.
because I had this, in fact, because the word opinion is there, I'll say it's extremely embarrassing though. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
say in my humble opinion,
Okay.
you know, and I would say what I want to say simply because I would be so desperate to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And because I would be
Mm-hmm.
so convinced कि मेरे पास ही एक ब्रह्मास्त्र idea है and you know you definitely are not capable of coming up with it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
This is really, when I was reading, when I was writing this line about disruption. Okay. So one thought which came to me, and I just looked at my career journey as well. You know, so, from a trainer to be a facilitator, a coach, a consultant. So every 3 years, I'm disrupting my regular pattern and I
Hmm.
wear a new hat. So,
Huh.
my opinions, my beliefs, my habits, they completely shift with one
Hmm.
disruption.
Hmm.
And also disruption has given birth to a lot of new things. The tech, which is also there. So that's a baby of disruption. So see, as a human being, when we create disruptions, what kind of enigma we are creating, what kind of presence we are creating, we are becoming new you.
Right.
Okay. So building more of this now. So further boost, what can we practice more often? Okay. So, when we are talking about renew, okay, how we are renewing our presence? What are the certain practices? What do you think? What do you do to renew your certain practices? Or you renew yourself when you work on your presence?
So I try and honestly reflect on what would be my scale of
Mm-hmm.
presence in, let us say, the last coaching conversation. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and am I happy with that scale?
Mm-hmm.
Or should I have, or can I like look at taking it to another level? So if I
Mm-hmm.
know that, okay, I have been a six, but then, uh, like, that's what, even when we take feedback from our mentors and all, so then,
Mm-hmm.
we get that feedback and then you get that new. So
Mm-hmm.
the renewing is uh, yeah, the renewing is when that self-reflection happens with a new goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So of course, new goal is about building up the new practices and also, for example, to renew myself, to recharge myself,
Uh,
one can go for a trip. Okay,
hmm.
one could take a sleep, one could listen to the music, one could go for drives. And similarly, you just mentioned,
Uh,
enjoying the weather.
yeah.
So it's about giving you renew energy. Okay.
Uh,
So what else could give a boost? The relationship and we questioned. So coaching and a coaching conversation. Every coaching conversation is very different. Okay. So how I can use that conversation with our equation to provide best to my coachee, because that's the moment which is happening. Okay.
So
Use
Mahi,
what's in the room. Yes. Yes, Chetan.
could that be being aware and firstly being aware of our own mental models? Could that also
Yes,
help
that's
in the
yes,
world?
are aware. Yes. So even Chetan, I would like to reflect on this. Be self-aware, record your assumption and biases, also the mental model. So when you're
Yeah.
becoming more aware of that, so you know where are you coming from as well.
And just one
Okay.
reflection on your first slide. Sorry, I joined late and I didn't want to interrupt it.
Mm-hmm.
Just yesterday, one of my clients' manager gave me feedback. Chetan, I want to acknowledge the way you listen, the way you observe. So I think sometime that silence also, the title of your slide, Mahi, that kind of strike
Mm-hmm.
me that silence also has its own impact. People do notice that,
Yes, yes. Very interesting thing, I have come across the feedback as well. It's not about the coaching conversation. People have said to me, it's just not that, when I talk to you, I feel so relaxed. I feel my all worries have gone out. So there's something which my presence is doing to somebody.
right?
And then mind it, your presence is gift to people
Yeah,
around you.
true.
Okay. And also coming to how you can supercharge or give a boost, use what's in the room. Okay. Remember, we did an activity. Jay asked us to do this, go into your room or your house and pick up 5 things. And what is the message you're receiving from them?
Yeah,
Okay. So metaphor, what kind of metaphors somebody is talking about? Okay. So moment I think of a metaphor, okay, or a object. So, my metaphor have always stayed with me, that, moment I think about the best times, or I want to play in that scenario. So always it comes about Griffin. Okay. So Griffin is basically about, this is a spiritual animal. So which has got a head of a lion and a body of an eagle. So in fact, see how your coaches are telling about certain metaphors. So in fact, be like an air is also a metaphor.
yeah,
Okay. And the complete ecology, what is there in your physical space, the complete setup
yeah.
as well. Okay. I remember I was in one of the coaching conversations, or maybe there's some song, okay, which suddenly pops up. Okay, you can use that in the physical setup, or somebody calls in. So what is making you feel? So how you can use a complete physical setup of the room also, or anything action happening in the room. You never know, there's a child who comes in. So what is the child might require? Just think through. Maybe they are seeking your attention. So, using what is available to you in that moment, you can explore that as well.
Yeah, and
So
also
at the
that's also part of, sorry, presence. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the part of the presence. So we covered about, what is the presence all about? What is I am doing with my presence that moment of time, and what else I can do to enhance my presence. And at the end, I would like to share this quote. And beautifully, I just read this quote few minutes ago and I made it part of it. And what is the message you're getting from this quote? Anita, Chetan? But I
Yeah,
would say the
it's like,
overall picture. Overall picture. What is the message you're getting?
so it's like sun doesn't know what power it holds. Metaphor. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
And Anita?
It starts and ends with you.
Hmm. So I would simply say this: be like an air, my friend.
We'll try. We'll try our best. Try
So
my
thank
best.
you
Yeah.
for being my participants.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Really, you asked some really thought-provoking questions. So, Chetan, you should catch the recording because I think those questions were really good. So,
I'll do, Anita.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Thank you, Mahi. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. So I'm stopping the recording here.